Welcome to the stream. Oh man. Uh I'm grinding. I'm grinding and I'm cooking. I'm grinding and I'm cooking and I'm cooking and I'm grinding and I'm working. Like first off, do a dab. And then as you can see on the screen, this is let me move my screen real quick. Wait, you see these people must pay Bitcoin, Trump, COVID, and Zionism with Dr. Jack Kruse, episode 2. I have episode 1. Queued up already. I'm gonna watch. It's like separate, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to watch, like you can watch separately. Anyways, I thought this was a really interesting, cool part that I was watching that needed to react to. So I'm gonna react to this. First things first though, I gotta do a dab. So YouTube, what up? As you can see, I'm watching These People Must Pay. Bitcoin, Trump, COVID, and Zionism with Dr. Jack Kruse, episode 2. I'm going to do this dab right now, and then we're going to get right into the video. Actually, I'm just going to start it right now for you, and then we're going to get right into the video. Make sure I'm on the video.
The parasite analogy, in my opinion,
Listen to what he says right here at the beginning.
Is not a good one to use for the future people that will watch this. Why? Because the parasite cleanse that we need to have in the United States right now is to talk about what happened in COVID.
Okay.
They used a made-up pandemic, used a bioweapon to try to take a lot of us out. And not only did they do a really bad job, they wound up killing the wrong people. Like guys that look like you now with big muscles, you're the one dying. It's not me. The fatties didn't get taken out.
Right. But isn't that by design?
I mean,
I don't have any evidence to support this, but it would seem reasonable that you would want to take out high testosterone men that are capable of performing a rebellion of some kind. Wouldn't you want, if you wanted a more docile, manageable society, wouldn't you want to take out those individuals first?
I think that's a good point, but I would tell you how
I'll let you see what he says in a second, but like I personally think that makes sense to a degree, but like they still didn't do it effectively at all. Like they still didn't take out the right people, regardless of who they were trying to like actually go back, like fit people or people that aren't fit. Like regardless, they didn't do a good job of doing it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go over well.
How much of your generation is tied to that $3.3 trillion? See, I'm going to take you back to what you and Luke said.
What is that 3.3 trillion you wrote?
It's all the incentives tied to Medicare. And ironically, where did we get Medicare? From the guy who kills JFK, LBJ.
Listen to this. Look, this is like, look, the amount of truth and information that is coming out like in the world actively is so rapid that like it feels like it's crushing my brain actually, bro, because there's like logistically every single day I watch 10 to 20 videos of information a day, and that's on top of doing everything else I have to do, take care of responsibilities, bills, and all that stuff. Like I'm constantly consuming this information about stuff that's going on, and it's just coming. It's too much. It's too much. Like this is a 4.5 hour interview, and it's the second one. The first episode is 4 hours too, so it's an 8-hour interview, bro. You see what I'm saying? I have 3 other interviews that are 3 hours long, dude, up right now that I'm trying to watch. It's too much information.
The greatest generation. That's the ultimate fuck job in history. The guy that saddles us, that bankrupts us, is LBJ. And we get, his new deal. All the boomers are sucking at the tit of this. And that's where the entitlement spending has to go away. This is where Luke does a beautiful job, making the diagnosis that we need to do something about this. Like, he wants to focus in on, okay, let's make the hard cuts. You're not cutting any of those people. I mean, if they're alive and they're talking and they're a voting bloc, I mean, let's be real. That's part of the reason why when I saw this podcast with you two, I wanted to reach in there and strangle him. And I'm like, no, you need to understand really what was happening. What was happening is they weren't ready for COVID. COVID was not something they were going to do. It's something they had to do. That's the reason why they had to get rid of Trump. Like when you look at this.
Did you hear that? They had to get rid of Trump so they could institute the COVID pandemic.
From a totally different situation. The whole story about the CBDC, the path that you need to get there
It's a crisis.
Well, you need to make sure that the Fourth Amendment is taken care of. Because without the Fourth Amendment being taken care of, you ain't getting a CBDC.
Fourth Amendment is
property and privacy.
property and privacy.
Right. You have the right to be secure in your property and papers. Like privately. Like you don't like there's no like unless you're doing something that would constitute a crime against the law of the land, not of the sea, then you have no reason to talk to these people or institute any contracts or interactions with them. Let's just say here really shortly, dude, I'm going to be transferring completely over to a passport, bro, so that way I can drive again and not even have to worry about all that stuff. And I'm still going to make enough money to go ahead and take care of whatever the hell is in California that's stopping that anyways, because I'm decoupling from all that. So I don't want no attachments. And I will pay off every fine or whatever I have to pay to get out of that system. And then I'm going to build my own car. So do you see what I mean? Like I'm going to get away from the like DMV and all that stuff and the IDs and stuff. And I'm going to build my own car. These are all plans, bro. These are all plans that are going to happen already. Like I already know I'm going to have it because of what the next 10 years people don't comprehend. That's why I'm watching stuff like this. That's why I'm showing you stuff like this is because people do not get what's happening in the world and they need to wake up.
So guess what? Trump puts two people that are experts on the Fourth Amendment on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That did not sit well with the industrial military players because guess what that means? The bankers don't get what they want. The bankers don't get the CBDC soon.
Yeah.
So what do? That's when you get rid of Trump and then you then start to take out the people that you need to take out. That was the original plan. Who was going to execute that plan? Fauci.
Okay.
Because he already did it once with HIV.
Yeah.
AZT and gay people. He was very successful at killing them.
Before so when you say that the pandemic had to happen, they had to perpetrate it, you're saying it's because they needed to taper this Ponzi scheme that is just out of control at this point?
They couldn't get to the CBDC fast enough. See, the goal, everywhere else in the world, they can get to the CBDC. That's not going to be a
Can't get
problem.
to it here because of the Fourth Amendment.
You got it. And the real problem, the impediment now, is that you have two Supreme Court justices that are experts in that. So what did that just do for the Federal Reserve and for the Treasury Department?
Yeah.
Okay, programmable money is going to be further down the road. So I said to your guy before you came, I said, don't you find it a little bit funny that in 2016 to 2020, Trump was completely anti-Bitcoin, and now he's like, oh, I want Bitcoin and this and that.
And look, because Trump has instituted, right? Because Trump, look, I've been reading a lot. I've been doing like quite a bit of research on like financial stability and fluctuations and markets and like tons of information, right, about the stock market and like cryptocurrency and all this stuff, right? So look, check it out. So basically, what Trump has essentially done, because Trump, like the United States was one of the first to initiate a Bitcoin reserve, right? And because the United States is the number one economy in the world, because of that, it's like a domino, right? And the domino is he started a reserve, and that's going to force all other countries to eventually have to adopt and do a reserve in Bitcoin. The ones who start later are going to suffer more than the ones who start early, and the United States is one of the first 5 to even do that. Do you see what I'm saying? Why it's important. Look, I love it, bro. Like, I appreciate all you guys jumping in real quick and leaving, because it shows me you're not serious. Like, I mean, it really does. It shows me how not serious you guys are, and I shouldn't even be worried about anything. Like, do you see what I'm saying? I told you not to like the stream on purpose. I gave you that. Never mind. I'm not going to go into that. Let's get back to this.
Yeah. Do you understand why now?
Well, they raised $100 million for him, didn't they?
Oh, you may think that that's the case. I'm going to tell you that now,
I think it's a feature, not a bug of Bitcoin, by the way.
I actually think they need Bitcoin to get them to the CBDC because the money is that bad. So in other words, now the game plan has adapted.
You hear what he said there?
And what they thought was going to happen during Biden and Kamala, that they would take out a lot of my generation and older, clear the deck.
That
Turned out
didn't happen.
the bioweapon wasn't fully tunable. And guess what happened?
They took out the wrong demographic.
They took you out. They didn't take
Not me. I didn't get that share. But yeah, I got you.
But you understand where I'm going.
Yeah.
And how do I want you to think about this? Before COVID begins in 2019, we get this guy from Harvard University arrested at the airport, caught with 21 vials.
Who the fuck is this guy? Charles Lieber. Bro, I never even heard of this guy. Who is this guy? Oh, I mean, he's going to explain. Never mind. I'm just going to...
Of nanobot technology. His name's Charles Lieber. Everybody heard about it in the United States, but nobody ever actually thought about what was going on. 2 guys from China who worked in Wuhan gets arrested with him. They take the 21 vials away. He's the expert in wideband technology. This is all the stuff that you hear about with the big tech guys in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, bro. If you really want to get deep down some information, bro, like... There's all sorts of technology happening around you that, like, I do not have the expertise to currently explain without someone helping me, like a video for reference. And if I get larger and get more space to be able to do this in a more professional manner, I will be doing certain things. Well, I mean, like, a lot better than a lot of other people. And I feel I'm doing it on a better platform. It's a larger platform. And let's just go. Let's just go.
I want to get into the semiconductor stuff.
Right. So what happens? Once this guy gets arrested, they realize that China wants to steal this technology.
Right.
That was what they were going to use to tune the bioweapon to take us out. They had to redeploy and put that stuff in Ukraine. Because they had to protect China from stealing this technology. So guess what happens now? How can I tell you? Because this does sound like conspiracy theory. I'll give you that 100%. How do we know that there's some data point that everybody's missing? You know that every single vaccine maker, except one, Pfizer, was ready to deploy the COVID jab. Operation Warp Speed comes out. Trump gets told about it. Who wasn't ready? Pfizer. So what does Pfizer decide to do? They go downstairs 3 floors to their genetic department and they find SV40. They use SV40 to design their jab because they're late to the game. And what do they then do? They tell their scientists to use a molecular tool to take the evidence of SV40 out, and then they present a clean version to the FDA and they get approved. Now,
and SV40 is the thing that causes that crazy epithelioma turbo cancers?
No, well, SV40 is what we got in the Cutter event during FDR's term in polio.
The guy that injected his grandchildren.
That's Osher. That's later. But this is the story that goes from FDR all the way up to this point of time. So I want you to think critically now from first principles. Tell me how a monkey virus that shows up in 1951 through 1959 now shows up in COVID vaccines that are supposed to be new and improved 75 years later. And Pfizer tries to take it out so you don't see it. That's why there's 2 legal definitions for BioNTech and for the Pfizer jab.
I don't know how you extract malice from that.
I mean, it's pure malice.
What's the official story? I don't know. What is it?
The official story is they wanted to kill people.
Well, that's not what they're saying in mainstream media, right? So
you don't have to worry about the saying part. That's the cool.
I'm just curious, like what? I hear what you're saying,
but the story breaks.
Yeah.
So in 2021, I'm in Clubhouse, a Bitcoin room.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I said, look, I just did a.
Okay, here, I'm gonna put the link in For anyone who wants this, you watch this full thing that's almost 4.5 hours long. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, this, it's just like, I never even heard of this guy before, Dr. Jack Kruse. Apparently, he's been going around doing a whole bunch of podcasts. Well, it's a very excellent. I'm gonna watch the rest of this. Hopefully, I will get through it in the next couple of days, along with all the other things. I might have to just stop, not watch a couple of things just so I can get through other things. You know what I mean? So there's that. Make sure you like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.